Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you, and all of you a very happy Thursday. In today's program, I want to talk a little bit about, a bit of an update on Tesla's earnings, as we're discussing that yesterday. A little bit about Nord Stream 1, because we've been discussing that a lot. So an update on that. And of course, a particular crisis which is happening right now in Italy on the eve of ECB's big day. But before we get into that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest to do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. So let's start off with Tesla. We spoke about that yesterday. Obviously, the earnings came out after the close, and they actually came in better than expected. It did come in better than expected. I was expecting, it's maybe some more negativity from it, from certain comment, due to the fact that Mr. Musk has made certain comments in the past in reference to the economy and letting 10% of their staff go. But that actually did come out better than expected. Revenue was announced slightly higher at 16.9 billion versus 16.88 billion expected. And actually what they had to say was this. This is a quote from the report from the company. They said, though we faced certain challenges, including limited production and shutdowns in Shanghai for the majority of the quarter, we achieved operating margin among the highest in the industry. They did come in slightly better than anticipated, and better than I thought as well. They did lose about 40,000 units of production during March and April. The other thing, which is interesting as well, is they sold 75% of its Bitcoin holdings to free up some actual cash capital. It's actually worth about 2 billion. So they actually freed it up, so there's slightly more cash flexible as well. So yeah, so like I say, slightly better than anticipated. However, it doesn't stop the fact that their share price is still down 30% so far this year. So slightly better note. They also said in the report, though, they are hoping to produce more cars this year than they have ever done. So they're quite optimistic about that. But let's have a quick look at the closing price of Tesla. And so this is Tesla as it closed. Closed at $742.40. So obviously anticipation is on the back of this report. We could see some further growth in Tesla share price when the US session opens, similar to what we saw with Netflix. Because I say, if we have a quick look at what Netflix did on the better of that report, which the market saw was quite positive. You say like, yeah, Tesla had a nice little bull run yesterday. So it should be interesting to see how Tesla opens on the US session. In reference to Bitcoin, obviously, they saw 75% of their holdings. Is slightly lower or slightly down from the highs it was experiencing yesterday, where it was trading around just around about 24,218. It's now currently trading at 22,919. So it came down slightly lower. I'm not saying necessarily on the back of Tesla's announcement of selling 75% of its Bitcoin holdings, but like I say, it's down slightly off the highs from yesterday. Right, other things. Of course, yesterday we talked about how toxic this gas situation in Europe is. And obviously, we've talked a lot about how big today could potentially be in reference to, obviously, Nord Stream 1 and the ECB, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. And indeed, today, the taps were turned back on. Nord Stream 1 did come back online at 6 a.m. this morning. Sorry, a bit dry. 6 a.m. this morning. And currently, estimates are saying it's delivering 30% of its capacity. 30% of its capacity. So there is slight relief in Europe as it stands. However, I say relief for now, because don't forget, don't forget, we have certain conditions. There's certain conditions to be met. And that capacity could drop down to 20% next week, as Putin has said. So there is this factor. And don't forget, the EU and many people are expecting at some point further reductions in capacity supply coming from Nord Stream and maybe even cut off. So just the fact that it's gone back on now and it's giving us a slight bit of relief does not mean it will stay on, because this, like I say, Putin has huge leverage with this, especially as we approach, of course, we're in the summer now, but especially as we approach the winter months. So do expect a lot more from this, a lot more stories and developments from this. And like I say, I think, there's too much leverage and too much control on this Nord Stream 1 for you over Europe, too much leverage on Europe with Nord Stream 1. So I do expect further issues to probably raise its head. But for now, Europe can do a sigh of relief for now in reference to that. But however, we have another crisis. There always seems to be crises at the moment. Another crisis happening in Italy, which is a big deal. Italian Prime Minister Super Mario, as I used to call him when he was the head of the ECB, Mario Draghi, his government is basically on the verge of collapse after a failed vote of confidence. He tried to get, obviously he has a coalition, and he tried to get two parts of the coalition to vote in a vote of confidence, and they refused to do so. So now the government again is on the verge of collapse. Mario Draghi is indeed expected to resign for a second time within a week. He tried to resign last week, but the president of Italy refused his resignation and convinced him to stay on. However, after this, he's actually meeting the president right now as I speak. But despite this, because of this latest development, he is expected to resign for a second time, and this time the president is expected to accept it. Now, why this is a big deal? Remember, I often say that politics can affect monetary policy, change in government, change of this, but there's a different story with Italy. Okay, and this is why this political uncertainty or political crisis can potentially affect the euro and the ECB's decision-making process, because Italy is the third biggest economy in the EU. Okay, third biggest economy. And with Draghi resigning, it will look set for early elections. And this is going to delay much needed reforms, because Italy is the biggest receiver of grants and loans from the EU's recovery fund. And for them to receive these grants and loans from the EU recovery fund, there are certain conditions they have to meet, which with this political crisis, they're unlikely to meet them. So this is why this is a big story for the market. It's because Italy's unlikely to meet the conditions they need to get this money from the EU. And as well as that, because of this uncertainty, Italian bond yields are skyrocketing, which means it makes it more expensive for Italy to borrow money. Okay, more expensive. And already, like I say, if they're struggling and they need to receive grants and loans, and it's more expensive to get private capital as well, then clearly, obviously, this is going to weigh on Italy. And don't forget, Italy was one of the PIG nations back in the debt crisis back in 2012. So, yeah, this is a big deal. And plus, don't forget, this is on the eve of probably one of the biggest days for the ECB in a long time. Because at 12:15 today, the ECB would do its first interest rate hike since 2011. They will do a rate hike today. They will do one. Okay, since 2011. The question the market has to ask, though, is it going to be 25, like they said previously? Or is it going to follow along with the rumors we heard of 50 basic point rate hike? Okay, now many people think, okay, they need to go more aggressive. Okay, inflation in Europe is 8.6. Okay, they need to go aggressive, so they need to go 50. But then again, they said 25. Are they going to lose face by not doing the forward guidance? They said 25. If they don't do 25, then are they going to lose face and confidence? Or are they going to be aggressive and do 50? You know what I mean? So this is going to be potentially a huge event for the euro. And of course, because of that, I'm obviously going to be doing a watch along of this event. So and like I say, this is happening. I'm going to be going online at 12 p.m. UTC. The event happens at 12:15 p.m. UTC, but I'm going on early so we can have a quick chat about it, look at potential scenarios from this event as well. But yeah, potentially this is going to be huge. And like I said yesterday, this is the first time in a long time. I'm actually genuinely excited about an ECB interest rate decision, because usually they don't do anything. They're usually really boring. The press conferences are fun, but usually the interest rate decisions are boring. But this is going to be interesting to watch, especially with the back of the ongoing dramatics of obviously Draghi and his government. Okay, yes, we got the relief, slight relief because of Nord Stream 1, but still, this potentially can be a massive event. So please come along and join me for it. On that note, let's have a quick look at the euro, where it is at the moment. Okay. Let's have a look where the euro is at the moment. Okay, as you can see, look. Okay, we were trading high earlier on the back of weaker dollar, and it was challenging that key level I was watching, 1.02684. But obviously now, despite the relief of Nord Stream 1, with the Italian crisis ongoing, it is under pressure. It's currently trading at 1.1735. There's a potential area of interest around just above that, about 1.01605. So yeah, we are seeing euro weakness on the back of the Italian crisis at the moment, despite the Nord Stream 1 relief. But really, it's all going to be down to what the ECB is going to do now. Are they going to do the 25 or 50? So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We have a quick look at the euro sterling as well. Okay, like I say, the euro slightly down against the sterling. Currently trading 0.8532, but nothing dramatic with that. We'll have a quick look at the cable as well. Why not? Okay, yeah, we are seeing a little bit of dollar strength actually now, looking at it. Cable's currently lower as well, 1.19231. It was trying to challenge that key level of 1.20034, but right now we're seeing a bit of dollar strength. But really, the story of the day, the asset of the day to watch is going to be the euro, because like I say, like I stress, this is a big day for the ECB. Big day for the ECB, big day for euro traders, and a big day for the market in general. So very much excited about that. Okay, so in other events coming up, ECB interest rate decision, like I mentioned, ECB press conference will be interesting as well, especially whatever they decide, see what they say afterwards. German manufacturing PMI tomorrow, UK services PMI, and Canadian retail sales on Friday. That is, or tomorrow, basically. I will be doing a watch along with that as well, because I'm getting quite interested in the loonie, especially certain conditions and circumstances happening in Italy. As the market stands, the FTSE currently lower at 0.09%, DAX currently negative 0.31%, and Eurostoxx 50 currently trading at slightly higher at 0.59%. But really, the big event, like I said today, is all about the ECB interest rate decision. Please come along and watch me. Join me with my watch along. Like I said, the event is happening at 12. Well, I'm going live at 12 p.m. UTC, and obviously the event happens at 2:15 p.m. UTC. I will then, of course, go back online again around about 1:30 p.m. UTC, discuss the outcome of the interest rate decision, and more importantly, discuss what was said in the ECB press conference. So please come and join me for that. As always, don't forget, you can always ask me questions anytime you wish. So anytime you like, please feel free to ask me questions. This is a live broadcast after all. So you can ask me anything about the market, or maybe simply just say hello, anything like that. And don't forget, if you think of questions later, jot it down in the comments on either YouTube or Facebook. I will see it, and like I did yesterday, like I've done many times, I will answer that question next time I'm live on air. So please remember that. Okie doke, as there is no questions, don't forget, if you're watching me on Facebook and you've enjoyed this episode, by all means, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video and found it interesting, insightful, and you've put up with me for being over the top enthusiastic about the markets, which I just simply can't help because I love the markets, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. But on that note, don't forget, these videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.